And then the only other thing that I had seen this week that I thought, oh, we should talk about was I'm seeing a lot of advertising for debt consolidation on like my Instagram feeds mostly. And I just kind of rolled my eyes, and I'll tell you why. Debt consolidation is, in my opinion, a terrible idea. Doesn't protect your credit score. We've already talked about you don't, well, I don't know that we really did talk about it. You don't need a credit score, in our opinion. No credit score is better than a low credit score. Low credit score means that you don't manage your debt well.
A zero credit score just means that
You don't
you
have
don't have
one.
that.
You don't have one. So I cannot be convinced. I will, till my dying days, I will absolutely shout it to the rooftops that you can get manual underwritten mortgage. The only debt that is good debt, not even good debt, necessary debt, is a mortgage.
Right.
So you were going to talk.
No, I was just gonna say how Dave Ramsey, tells you that a FICO score
is how I use debt.
Yeah, is how I've used my debt score.
Yep.
And it kind of takes into account your payment history and of how
Your
you paid back your
income,
debt
how
and
much debt you had.
right. And since I had worked as a mortgage underwriter in the past, um, those debt consolidation companies, um, yes, they can work out some things with your creditors to work out, an arrangement where you're not paying back the full amount, but that does not, take away the delinquencies on your credit score. It does not, um, make everything right. So, yes, it can alleviate some stress in that, okay, I've now paid off those debts, or, settled those debts. So I don't want to say paid off, because you paid less than what you owed. But you've settled those debts and you've paid the settled amount, but that still reflects poorly on your credit report, in that, it shows that you paid less. But it may put you, instead of showing you as past due, you might be showing as, current again, but it definitely marks it as paid less than what was owed.
Yeah.
So, like Terry said, yeah, it's not a great idea in the first place. Best bet is to avoid the debt in the first place.
Of course.
Second bet is, if you've taken out the debt, you pay off the debt.
Yeah, and I think that it's oftentimes like people that are looking at debt consolidation are typically, they just feel like they're in a place of hopelessness, right? That they have gotten themselves too far in, that there's no way that they could get out of debt. The baby steps are designed across the board. They work the same for everybody. Step 0, create a budget. Step 2, set aside $1,000 emergency starter emergency fund. This is only a fund that's going to protect you from charging. In step 0, I should have gone back. Stop using your credit cards. So step 0, first immediate steps. 1, set up a budget. 1, stop using your credit cards. 2, set up a budget. 3, set aside. Now I'm going them out of order, right? Okay.
Getting that first 1,000 set aside.
Set aside. And then your next step is debt snowball. So write down your debts. That can be painful for some people, depending on how many debts you have. You're human. Just do it anyway. Write down your debts, list them from smallest to largest, total balance to. And you're going to pay minimums on all except for the smallest balance. And you're going to pay that one off. And then you're going to snowball that payment into the next one, and just write a pretty little list on your fridge and just mark them off as you go. Take a selfie, post it on your profile that you are just winning with money. You're getting out of this. You're not going back here. And I think that was something. And then once you're out of debt, then you build a bigger emergency fund for 3 to 6 months. Personally, right now, I would probably be building, no matter what the circumstances, we'd be building a 6 to 12 month emergency fund.
Right. But like the experts also say, there are certain people that definitely should have a bigger emergency fund. People who are self-employed, people who work in sales or commission based.
Yeah, uncertain income.
So where your income might fluctuate significantly. Those are the types of people that, without a doubt, should have 6 months of an emergency fund. But a 6 month emergency fund is a good good standard for everybody.
Yeah. And just being flexible that sometimes, you don't know what's coming your way, but if you've put a little bit of a gap between you and mayhem, right? And you give yourself more margin, that you will feel relieved. And we talked about last week some of the benefits of getting out of debt and that debt freedom that you just can't explain to people. So we make it seem cut and easy, cut and dry. In our minds, it is, right? You absolutely can get out of debt. You absolutely can build wealth. The average person going through the Dave Ramsey baby steps takes about 2 years from the time they decide that I'm done. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck. 2 years to get out of debt, to get through baby steps 1, 2, and 3, or 1 and 2 and 3. Yes. And then from start to finish to millionaire status, baby step millionaire. And believe me, when you start paying off those debts, you can see it. You can set your sights on it. It is on the horizon, becoming a baby step millionaire. And you can do it.
And it'll happen quicker than you expect. I mean, a lot of people have the thought of a millionaire, and they picture $1 million in a year, but that's not true.
Like $1 million paycheck or salary.
Yeah, a lot of people imagine that, to be a millionaire you have to make $1 million of salary, but it's a matter of your income and your assets. So paying down your mortgage, paying off your house in a lot of cases will make up a huge chunk of your way towards a baby step millionaire.
Especially today, because I mentioned previously, the houses right down the road are going for upper 800,000s. I mean, bananas. So those houses drove our house prices up ridiculously. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I would buy that house. But anywho, it's basic math on that end. It's behavior on the opposite side. So people will say like, oh, I'm going to pay the biggest interest rate first. I mean, you can do that. I don't recommend it, because if it was a behavioral issue, if it was a math issue, you would have been out of debt a long time ago. It is a behavioral issue. Absolutely. So I think that that's the key. You just have to keep going, and you have to recognize that you can do it in a manner that pulls you out of debt, and sets you on the right course. And the debt freedom, the feeling of debt freedom, we previously talked about not being able to really kind of relay that to you, what that feels like. But what I would recommend, instead of considering debt consolidation, I would recommend making the $79 investment. And depending on your church, I know our church offers Financial Peace for $30, Financial Peace University, which is a 9-week course to get you out of debt, for $30. Dave Ramsey, if you go on their site, it's $79. And I would consider hiring a financial coach to sit down with you for 4 to 6 sessions. Financial coaches, can run the gamut on price, but they're going to sit down with you and figure out the behaviors. Like what's stopping you from achieving debt freedom? What are your goals? They're going to have you have a dream meeting with your spouse or your partner, and come to alignment with you on the steps that you need to take. And they're going to give you ideas to get you there and get you there faster. And if you implement them, you will get there faster. You absolutely will. And I think that we need to stop thinking of this victim, like, I'm never going to get out of debt. I'm going to wait for the government to save me. Oh, good Lord, you're going to be waiting a long time. You're waiting for the government to save you. Right. Anything else on that?
No, I think that was it.
Anything else to add on the benefits of getting out of debt? I don't think I wrote that down last week. I have a different notepad, but
no, I mean, the only other thing, when we were talking about the emergency fund, and how analyzing your expenses and living frugally, the lower you can make your expenses in a given month, the more whatever you have set into your emergency fund will last you. So if you were making, say your expenses were $5,000 and you had 30,000 in your emergency fund as a 6-month emergency fund, but all of a sudden you dropped your mortgage payment, you were able to pay off your house, so that all of a sudden your your monthly expenses are only $3,000, that that's that 30,000 that you have in your emergency fund is now met all of a sudden a 10-month emergency fund. So analyzing your expenses, living as frugally as possible is just going to help you in many aspects, especially if and when hardships arise.
If your financial house is in order, then you're gonna get through the storm regardless, right? But it's about how weathered you're gonna get during the storm. And you absolutely should. I hope that you want to come out on the other side of the storm in a better position than you entered. I hope that you have that wish for yourself, and I hope that you're willing to do the work, because I know when we were getting out of debt, we had to go to bat on reining in our budget. I worked 2 jobs. You worked 2 jobs with the housework that you were making up for that when I was out working. And I think that is, if you don't have enough money to pay your bills, you have a couple options. Like, you can go get another job, but you have to recognize that more money means more taxes, right? If it bumps you into another bracket. And then you have to also the option to sell some stuff. So there's plenty of opportunity and plenty of options out there. You just have to know you just have to make a decision as to which one you're going to do.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So hopefully that was helpful to you, and hopefully you have a wonderful week. Take care, guys.
Good week, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you for your help.